In the mythological world of ancient Greece, Icarus soared above Crete on wings crafted from a delicate blend of wax and feathers, a feat only made possible through the genius of his father Daedalus. Together, they sought to transcend the natural limitations that bound mortals to the earth, daring to defy the immutable laws of both man and the gods. With each powerful stroke of his wings, Icarus climbed higher, ignoring the cautionary words of his father, Daedalus, who had warned him of the dangers of flying too close to either the sun or the sea. Below, the people gazed upward in awe as he climbed, his silhouette etched against the sun's golden glow, like that of a divine being. For those watching, he seemed to embody the essence of a god himself, and in that moment, Icarus too felt the rush of godlike power. But in mythological ancient Greece, the boundary that divided gods from mortals was stern and unforgiving, and for any human who sought to cross it, the penalty was swift and harsh. Such would be the fate of both Icarus and his father Daedalus. Long before Icarus was born, Daedalus was already widely celebrated in his homeland of Athens. He was known as a master of invention, a craftsman, and a sculptor who redefined the artistic and technological landscape of the ancient world. With his remarkable ingenuity, Daedalus pioneered the art of carpentry, inventing the essential tools that would shape construction for generations to come. His genius led him to design the first bathhouse and even the first dance floor, innovations that added a new layer of civilization to Athens. His sculptures were so lifelike that the hero Hercules, known for his sharp senses and unmatched prowess, mistook them for real people. Despite his considerable talents and fame, Daedalus harbored a fatal flaw: his jealousy. Fearful that his young nephew showed promise as a craftsman capable of surpassing him, Daedalus allowed envy to drive him to commit an unthinkable act. In a tragic moment of weakness, he murdered his nephew. For this crime, he was exiled from Athens, forced to wander, until he eventually made his way to Crete. In Crete, Daedalus's reputation preceded him, and King Minos received him warmly, welcoming him into his court as an advisor and innovator. With this position, Daedalus continued to break boundaries. For the royal children, he crafted mechanical toys that seemed to come alive, captivating all who beheld them. He devised both the ship's sail and mast, revolutionary inventions that allowed humans to harness the power of the wind and traverse the seas with ease. Each of these creations brought mortals a step closer to challenging the dominion of the gods, and with every boundary he pushed, Daedalus grew bolder until he crossed a line that would alter his fate irreversibly. The trouble began when Pasiphae, the wife of King Minos, was cursed by Poseidon, god of the sea, to fall in love with the king's treasured bull. Overwhelmed by this supernatural compulsion, she turned to Daedalus, seeking his help in satisfying this unnatural longing. With characteristic audacity, Daedalus agreed, creating a hollow wooden cow so convincingly lifelike that it deceived the bull entirely. Hidden within this crafted contraption, Pasiphae consummated her unnatural desire, ultimately giving birth to the monstrous Minotaur, a creature with the body of a man and the head of a bull. Enraged by this violation of natural order, King Minos blamed Daedalus, holding him responsible for this twisted consequence of his invention. As punishment, Daedalus was ordered to construct a labyrinth beneath the palace, a maze so intricate and confounding that it would serve as an inescapable prison for the monstrous Minotaur. Yet even after completing this monumental task, Daedalus found no reprieve. Fearing his knowledge of the labyrinth might someday pose a threat, Minos imprisoned both Daedalus and his only son, Icarus, in the highest, most isolated tower on the island, sentencing them to live out their days in solitude. However, Daedalus was not a man easily confined. Observing the birds that soared past his prison day after day, he began to form a plan as daring as it was ingenious: an escape by air, a feat that only birds or gods had ever attempted. With great patience, he collected feathers from the birds that frequented the tower and used wax from candles to bind them together, fashioning two sets of wings, one for himself and one for his son Icarus. As he attached the wings to Icarus, Daedalus imparted a final lesson. He warned his son to avoid flying too close to the ocean, where the moisture would weigh down the wings, or too close to the sun, where the wax would melt. In both cases, disaster awaited. The only safe path, he advised, was to keep to the middle, a lesson in balance and moderation. With these instructions etched into their minds, the two leapt from the tower, becoming the first mortals to experience the exhilaration of flight. Daedalus kept to the safe, steady course he had prescribed, but young Icarus, overwhelmed by the thrill and feeling the intoxicating power of flight, could not resist pushing his limits. He climbed higher and higher, exhilarated by the freedom and the illusion of godlike power. Daedalus, glancing back, watched helplessly as his son ascended into the bright realm of the sun. unable to prevent the impending tragedy. As the sun's heat melted the wax holding his wings together, Icarus's wings crumbled, and he plummeted from the heavens into the depths below. In the end, Icarus had shared in his father's disregard for mortal boundary, succumbing to the same fatal hubris that had often driven Daedalus himself. Both men paid dearly for straying from the path of moderation. Icarus lost his life in his youthful defiance, while Daedalus, surviving the ordeal, was left to carry the weight of his profound grief and remorse for the rest of his life. As we reflect on the tragic tale of Icarus and Daedalus, their story serves as a timeless lesson about balance, humility, and understanding our limits. While ambition and curiosity drive us forward, there is wisdom in listening to guidance and respecting the boundaries that keep us safe. The caution to stay in the middle path is a reminder that we don't need to aim for the extreme heights to achieve greatness. Sometimes true strength lies in moderation and self-awareness. Thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed exploring the myth of Icarus and Daedalus, please give this video a like. And don't forget to subscribe for more mythical tales and legends that continue to inspire us today. See you in the next story.